Hello, my name is Chris Wyman and welcome to my kitchen. Tonight we're going to be butchering a chicken, a whole chicken. There's a lot more value in taking a whole chicken and cutting it down instead of buying the little pieces. But to do that, we're going to need a proper knife. So before we get started, I thought I would run you through our cutlery set here at Pampered Chef. So let's start on my right. We have a paring knife. The paring knife is perfect for small jobs such as dicing fruit, softer fruits, small vegetables, peeling fruit and vegetables even. If you don't have a peeler, this is good for that. The next knife on our list is the chef's knife. The chef's knife is a staple in many kitchens. Every chef uses one, hence the name chef's knife. It is for our big prep tasks. Lots of prep such as chopping, slicing, dicing. If you have a lot of work to do, this is the knife you're going to want to go to. The next knife on our board I'm going to leave for a moment because that's the one we're going to use. This knife right here with the beautiful serrated edge is a bread knife. It's known as a bread knife. Use it for sawing, cutting through breads, delicate cakes, things like that. The next knife on my board is called a tomato knife. It really looks a lot like a steak knife, but the serrated edge is a little bit deeper. You will want to use this when cutting soft, fleshed things like a tomato, hence the knife. If you've ever noticed, if you don't have a very, very sharp paring knife, the edge on your paring knife sometimes won't puncture the skin very well on your tomato. A serrated knife is ideal for jobs like that. Okay, and the last knife I have on my board before we're going to get started is the Santoku knife. It's very versatile. If you're going to own one knife, this is the one to own. So you can dice, slice, mince. It's not going to get you as far as long comfortably as a chef's knife, but this also comes, this is a 5-inch blade. It also comes in a 7-inch size as well. So it's very versatile and can be used just like the chef's knife or for smaller jobs like a paring knife. The knife we're going to use today is a utility knife, excuse me. It is ideal for all purpose, anything, slicing fruits, vegetables, but trimming meat and poultry. Of all the knives I just showed you, the only one that's proper for the job we're about to use out of this set of 6 is the utility knife. You can also buy in other sets a boning knife. Pampered Chef doesn't carry a boning knife, but now that I've used the utility knife, I find that there's really no value in owning just a boning knife because I get more versatility out of the utility knife, as you can see. So I have on my board a whole chicken. I'm using the plastic board, the flexible mat on top of my wooden cutting board because the wooden cutting board gives me more stability, but I do like to keep the plastic in between my wood and my poultry. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to deal with the legs and the thighs. So how we deal with the legs and the thighs, you might think this is funny, we're going to hold it up and we're going to let the weight of the bird kind of do the work, and then we're going to take the point of the utility knife and puncture the skin. Okay, there we go. So you see this big gaping pocket now. Now you've got a big gaping pocket. You lay the bird on its breast on the board, and there is right here an oyster, and you're going to bend backwards so that you kind of break the back. You're going to feel a bone split. And then delicately with the tip of the knife, come around the oyster, so you want to keep it intact, and then find right here along the line of the bone, and you'll be able to cut straight down through that. And then just cut through the skin. Now we're going to leave the leg and the thigh together for now and just repeat on the other side. So again, I'm going to let the weight of the bird do the work. I'm going to poke through the skin with the point of my blade, and then I'm going to flip it over on its breast, pop it, get that out of the way, come around the oyster. See, from this side you can see the bone that popped out. That's the sound you heard. Keep your fingers clear. Always be aware of where your fingers are. And there, we'll set that aside for now as well. Now, flip it back over. Now we just have the breast, which is attached to the cavity of the bird still, and we have the 2 wings. I'm going to deal with the wings next. Again, I'm going to let the weight of the bird kind of hang down there and hold on to the wing, and I'm going to put the tip of my knife right here at the knuckle, right where the bone meets, and then I'm going to bend it and just feel around with the tip. You see why the utility knife is perfect for this, because the tip will do a lot of the feeling for you to find out where the bone is and to get around it. And you can go slowly. You don't need to go fast at all. This knife is very, very sharp. And then we slice through that. All right, and one more, again, on the other side. See, pops open like that. Pop it a little at a time. And I'm going to come in from the back this time. And there we go. Now, we're left with 2 other jobs to do. That's it. First is to take the breast off the carcass of the chicken, off the frame, and then we're going to cut the leg apart from the thigh. So we're going to start with the breast. Take your knife, and first the idea is just to slice through the skin, because the skin's a little slippery. We want to make that detach from itself. I mean, we want to make 2 halves of that before we get started. You might want to go underneath. Sometimes that helps to get it started. There's always a little bit of gel underneath the skin of a chicken that causes slipperiness, and you don't want to slip. So get that separated. That's why we wanted to separate that. Now, if you feel along this, you can see where I'm pointing. There is the rib cage right down the middle, or the breastbone is really what that is. I'm going to go to one side of that, just little tiny shallow cuts. I'm not trying to cut the chicken yet. I'm just trying to find the bone so that I have my line. See, do you see it now? There it is, right there. That's the breastbone. Now what I'm going to do is just make shallow little slices along that breastbone, up top, all the way down here, from end to end, and just lightly separating it from the rest of the rib cage. See that? See how that opens up? Now I'm going to turn it on my side so I can see it. And you're going to take little tiny, just see how I'm just dragging the blade along, making one tiny cut at a time. What I'm doing is lightly separating the flesh from the bone, okay? Taking care to salvage as much of the meat as possible. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come underneath it right here with the tip of my knife again and poke through, because again that skin was there and I wanted to make it let go. Plus it's going to let me do that same delicate shaving along the side toward the bottom like that. Okay, now we're coming up on where the wing was. So little by little with the point of your knife, just shave that meat off. Shave that meat off. There we go. Separate that piece right there. And I've got a nice big chunk of meat I don't want to lose there. There you go. And then you'll start to feel it give way. And you make the final cut. There. It's one. I'll put that aside so you can see it. The tenderloin is attached. If you wanted to tear the tenderloin off, you can. I'm going to leave it attached. Oh, once in a while, like I heard that snap, I thought I might have grabbed a piece of the bone, the ribcage bone. Actually, that's part of the wishbone. So just take it out. Again, this is another reason why the point of your knife on a utility knife is brilliant for trimming meat, because it'll get right in there. Now what I'm going to do before I save these is I'm going to pound this part of the breast a little bit thinner so that it more evenly matches this side of the breast for a better and more even cook. So let's set that aside and proceed to do this side of the breast. You'll have a little easier go of it because you've already gone to one side. But we're going to do the same thing. No need to rush this. Unless, of course, you're on Gordon Ramsay's show, MasterChef. You're not going to have to do this for a judge in 60 seconds. So don't cut yourself, okay? Take your time. You will get faster at it. And it doesn't take long. once you learn the anatomy of your chicken, this is not going to take long. And there are a couple reasons why you should invest the time to learn to do this if you have a decent set of knives. And that is because the cost per pound for chicken is much cheaper when you buy the chicken whole. Second, your chicken will stay fresh longer the more intact it is. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but as chicken is broken down into pieces, its ability to stay fresh deteriorates, or its shelf life is shortened, I should say, is probably a better term for that. Okay, so now I've got the second breast removed. And the other reason I like to do it whole is because I like the skin on my breast. I really do. It protects the flesh of the meat from getting too browned or too scorched, and it imparts such lovely flavor and color that even if you don't eat the skin, it's nice to cook with it. Now I'm going to save this carcass here for chicken stock later, so nothing gets to waste in a whole chicken. Okay, I think I've gone over the reasons why it's a better value. Okay, so let's make quick work of this leg and thigh piece together. Now what you're going to want to do, I'm going to try not to touch it with this hand so I don't get sloppiness on the blade of the handle of my knife. See, squeeze the thigh and the leg together like so. And then up top, there'll be a little space right there. You can kind of see it, but if you just go slowly in here with your knife, you will notice it goes right in. Now go about a quarter of the way in and then spread out your thigh and your leg from each other, and don't turn the knife, just keep going straight on down, and it'll cut straight through like that. What you've done is you found the center of the knuckle between the thigh and the leg. This is actually a very easy cut. Again, hold them together, pinch them together, about a quarter of the way down, open, and straight down. There you go. So now we are almost done. You can leave your wing the way it is, or if you want to make chicken wings out of it, which I kind of like to do, I take this tip off right here. You will have to just slice through that. It's not very hard. And then you can do exactly the same thing that you did with the leg and the thigh and go through the top, but it's a little bit scarier to me because it's so much thinner that I typically don't do that, but that's one way of doing it. I'll show you the other way right now. Again, we'll take the tip off. My chicken's a little frozen right here. It's not that the knife is not sharp. My chicken froze right there at that knuckle. I like to spread it this way and go in through the fleshy part, and then you should also easily find the knuckle and go straight down. There you have it. I have 4 wingettes right here, 2 legs, 2 thighs. Oh, obviously if you want to, now's a good time to trim off that excess fat from your thigh, because there always is some. 2 nice thighs and 2 beautiful chicken breasts. There you have it. Thanks for joining. Bye.